Hey party people, what's up? How about that episode of Dynamite that just went off the air? Honestly, a really solid night, especially that main event. Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal to honor the late, great Jay Briscoe. Rest in peace, man. Other stuff from tonight, a lot of cool stuff went down tonight, as including news for what's going to be going down next week on another stacked episode of Dynamite. Don't worry, just because the show is over does not mean that the good times have to stop, because the newest episode of The Gift of Gabe is about to start. You guessed it, right now. So, mentioned it at the top of the episode, guys. Great main event between Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, two obviously close men, you know, with Mark being his brother, but Jay Lethal, one of like best rivals ever in Ring of Honor. If you noticed that over the time span, it was a great main event to close things out. Great way to honor the late great Jay Briscoe, even the whole locker room from AEW and some guys who spent a lot of time with Jay in Ring of Honor coming up with him. You know, and you know they said the commentators said it best. Like if you loved pro wrestling, then like you really loved Jay Briscoe because he had such a huge impact on it, along with that other group of guys who came up with ROH and, like saw it rise and really rose it to the prominence that it is today. And stuff like that like caused AEW to want to be created in the first place. It's honestly a shame that Jay had to die. It's thankful that his daughters are at least doing okay. But you never know when it's going to end up being your time. And so unfortunately, the best people are the ones in this world are the ones that end up leaving it too soon. So Jay, everybody who knew you, loves you, will miss you, and thank you to what you did for pro wrestling and help making it as great as it is today, alongside your brother who did also great tonight. If he wants to continue holding both tag team titles and defending them by himself, honestly, no one would even attest to that. I'm sure he would make that immensely over and entertaining as possible. So I'm all for that. But I'm all for anything that he wants to do, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. And Jay Lethal, you could tell that wasn't really easy for him. It wasn't really easy for anybody, especially with that tribute video. Just one last time, Mark and Jay Lethal, thank you for an amazing main event. And thank you to Tony Khan for really pushing to make this match happen in order to honor Jay Briscoe on his birthday. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. Everybody in AEW, everyone around the world who loves pro wrestling will love and miss you. Okay, you guys, got things started off on Dynamite with the tag match. Les Sex Gods, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara against Action Andretti, and Absolute Ricky Starks. The match was a super solid, fun opener. I enjoyed it from the first bell all the way to the last. I understand the Jericho appreciation side having to get a win. Jericho had to get out of his slump. Sammy was the one that got the win anyway, but he got it over Andretti, so that's why it all ends up working out. Because Starks is the most over person in this entire feud, and one that will be more over continually throughout afterwards. So he wasn't going to be the one that ended up taking the pin. So that was the right decision for Andretti to take the pin, because he's still relatively new, and again, because Starks, he's not as over as Ricky Starks, so it's okay. Plus, it got Jericho out of his slump. This feud could end up going until maybe Revolution. It's about a month away. So most of the kind of feuds that are going on right now might be the ones that stay around. But you never know. If Jericho and Starks end up going at it again, they might need some sort of stipulation. Maybe. If it's not that, then Ricky Starks, I definitely see him in the face of the Revolution ladder match for a TNT title opportunity. He's one of my top picks to win if that ends up being what happens with them. Either way, he's going to still be absolute because, it's Ricky Starks. You cannot stop Ricky Starks because, the Revolution is televised. So go with keep going on with Jericho, or enter the face of the Revolution ladder match. Ricky's going to be good either way. Next up on the night, you guys, we had Darby Allin, another solid TNT title defense. Like, could you expect anything less? Going against the House of Black's Buddy Matthews. This match was super dope. I loved it. Buddy and Darby have amazing chemistry together inside of that ring. So it was another great outing for Darby Allin as TNT champion. But just when things looking like they were good, the almighty king of television, Samoa Joe, came back and says he wants his throne back. He's saying Darby is a temporary transitional champion because he wants back to be on the top of the mountain and reigning on the top of the TNT title network, baby. I cannot wait because next week that match is going to be no holds barred. Darby versus Joe one last time. The last two they kicked the crap out of each other, and now they're just going to do with just rules completely thrown out the window. I'm absolutely loving it, but the fact that it's no holds barred, one, they're going to beat the crap out of each other before this happens, but Wardlow, he still has to come back, after he got, that little hair ponytail snip from Samoa Joe during the last TNT title match. So I'm guessing that he ends up coming back to cost Samoa Joe this match and continue, their little feud. I would guess maybe they would fight, at Revolution 2, or, Joe needs a Ring of Honor opponent for his ROH World Television title at, Supercard of Honor. So either way, I see Wardlow coming back, helping Darby retain, and continuing off with their feud where they left off. And as for Darby, he'll retain next week. I can't wait to see, per usual, what he has left to offer. This next week's match is going to be another great match in his title reign to just prove why Darby as TNT champion is just amazing, because dude just puts on banger after banger after banger after banger after... what's the word? Oh yeah, banger! Okay, guys, so you heard the news from Hangman tonight. He said he wants to knock out Moxley in Ohio again next week because they're in Dayton. So we're getting Moxley versus Hangman 3 next week on Dynamite. I mentioned that the Revolution is in a month, so the feuds might start kind of be fleshing out. I kind of see this match having some sort of no contest, where Moxley and Page just beat the crap out of each other so bad that they're like, dude, we can't do this, call the match, all blah, blah, this, all that, some sort of brutal no contest that makes have to go back to, I'm guessing, Revolution to completely finish his feud with some sort of stipulation, because that's just what this feud, I feel like that's how it reaches its finale, with a big stipulation feud. And we know they could be like, hey, Moxley, Page, let's go try to ride back and do this over right with, an exploding barbed wire death match. But they might not get that far. It could be an unsanctioned lights out match. Or it could be an I Quit match. Who knows? Either way, I'm guessing this feud continues after next week, because I don't think there's going to be any actual winner or loser. I think this stretches into Revolution with some sort of stipulation to finally close out this brutal but awesome rivalry between Mr. Cowboy Shit, the anxious millennial cowboy, and the Death Rider himself, Jon Moxley. So, should be a fun little butt whipping next week between both guys. I'm looking forward to see how those two make everyone go oh God, throw the match out because they literally beat the crap out of each other. Alright guys, it was the next step for Bryan Danielson to get his hands on MJF. He had to go through Brian Cage. Now, we knew this match was going to be different from the last two matches he had, with Takeshita and Bandito. They were technical master classes that they were. This was just a straight up fight that Danielson had to get to, and it was another good one again for Danielson. But he did not escape this match unscathed. He ended up injuring his wing, as MJF would jokingly mock. His arm got taken out before Takeshita was able to make the save, which, did you hear that pop for Takeshita? Dude's over, and we already knew this. And hopefully he might actually get a shot at the champ in a couple weeks, because, MJF is saying, keep your nose out of my business. So don't listen to Takeshita. Would love to see you get a run at the champ. If you don't win, unfortunately, that would be seriously a great match for him. But Danielson, that's 3 down. He has 2 more left to go before he finally gets that Iron Man match at Revolution with MJF for the Triple B, for the AEW World title. And the next person next week on the list is someone who's going to go after that arm and honestly every single bone and limb that Danielson has left after tonight, and that is Timothy Thatcher. If you haven't seen this dude wrestle, he literally just gets enjoyment like Danielson, kind of in a way, but maybe more sadistically, in just hurting people. Danielson, I know you're going to find a way to do it. You're going to find a way to win another match and take your next step to getting MJF for that AEW World Championship. It's going to be good. It might not be a banger, but it's definitely going to be ruthless. It's going to be great violence. Let's just be honest right now. Okay, guys. So that was this week's Dynamite. I hope you enjoyed the show. Enjoyed the tribute to Jay Briscoe. Rest in peace one last time. But now we are in the home stretch party. People, I cannot freaking wait. I'm so hyped. SmackDown. It's the last one before, you guessed it, this Saturday Royal Rumble pay-per-view. two Royal Rumble matches, and then Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, for at least the last time for now, for the Undisputed Universal title. And, we got the Raw Women's title on the line too, and the Pitch Black match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. There's going to be so much good stuff going down on this pay-per-view, including Sammy's final test. What in the hell is that exactly going to be? It's going to have something to do with that match that Reigns has against Kevin Owens, and then the men's Royal Rumble match. It's looking like Cody's going to win, but after that bloodline trial and Sami surviving, it looks like a lot more people are calling for Sami to actually win this Rumble. I don't think that's going to end up happening. I've said before, Cody wins this Royal Rumble. A couple weeks later, Sami wins the Elimination Chamber to get a shot at the Universal title. Cody one night, Sami another. Roman loses both titles. New champions in Cody and Sami for WrestleMania. But the road to WrestleMania isn't exactly here yet. We got to get through the Royal Rumble. I hope y'all are ready to rumble. You're not going to want to miss the rest of these shows. And you're not going to want to miss what your boy, the gifted gabber in the biz, has to say afterwards. So I will see you guys after SmackDown and Rampage on Friday on Royal Rumble Eve. We're almost here, you guys. So get ready to rumble. And don't ever forget, when it comes talking wrestling, who better to gab with than Gabe? So hit that subscribe button. All right, you guys, I'm out. See you after all the action on Friday night.